At the very end of Jesus' life, in one of the most famous scenes of his ministry, he is now at the Last Supper, and he is going to be cleaning the disciples' feet. He's having the most important conversations with the men that are the most important to him at this time in John 15. And one of the things he tells them is to remain in him. And the illustration he uses is one of a vineyard. I'm standing in a vineyard right now. I happen to live in Southern California, which is very similar in topography and weather to Israel. And I am standing at a time when it's the winter, it's the beginning of the winter, it's the very last kind of moments when the vineyard is being stripped of all of its grapes. And so you can see behind me, there are no grapes left on these. There are some down here on the other side of the vineyard that they haven't picked yet. What has happened up to this point is that the vineyard owner expects a return on his investment and all the effort he's put into this vineyard. You can see there's an irrigation system. There's stakes that are holding these vines up. There are wire that runs across here to kind of hold them all together. And so a lot of time and effort has been put into making sure these vines have the best chance of growing and then producing fruit so that the vineyard owner can make wine and make a profit. And Jesus used this illustration, which would have been very familiar to all the disciples, that God expects a return really on his investment. It's interesting that Judas is already gone from this supper. These are his true sanctified names written in heaven disciples. And Jesus uses an interesting use of the metaphor of a vineyard that he expects the disciples to remain in him. It says to remain in me and you will produce much fruit. Well, the Greek there, word for remain, means to abide with, to stay near, and it's active in the Greek, meaning it's on you to remain on the vine. Like you are not passively a branch. So Jesus tells his disciples that unlike the physical vines, which don't have a choice, they either grow or they don't grow, and the vineyard trimmers come by and they trim off all the old branches to make sure that the ones that want to be there and be fruitful don't get the nutrients sucked out of them, that he tells them, you remain in me, you'll bear much fruit. But if you don't, you'll die. And the vine dresser, in this case, God, in John 15, comes and collects you and removes you, and then at the end of the season, burns you. And so you can see here at the end of the season now, all the stuff has been stripped off of it, and they take all the dead branches and they pile them up and they get rid of them and burn them. And so it's interesting here that belief, although it's a gift from God, we don't create our own faith, we don't create our own belief. Even though it's given from God, it's on us to keep believing. It's on us to keep staying close to God and be fruitful at the end. Be the disciples that truly want to serve God. And so today, my encouragement to you is to make sure you stay close to Christ, make sure that you are abiding in him, that you are thriving in him. God never ceases to be good to the branches, to be good to everybody that wants to choose to stay with him. They will be fruitful, but it's on us to remain close to Christ for his glory and also our benefit.